Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, the fantastic looking ELR from the Cadillac organization. Now, Cadillac, basically, this is a, well, plug-in electric hybrid, if you will, built off of the Volt drivetrain. This particular vehicle is a lot better looking than the old Volt is, but a little bomb got released at the old Detroit Motor Show, as apparently Cadillac only has a certain amount that they're going to build of this particular model. This vehicle will be sold in the United States, European markets, also in China. But apparently, according to Cadillac, if the vehicle sells well enough in the United States, it'll eat up all the inventory that could be going overseas. Any European markets, any China markets may not ever get to see this model. Let's say that Cadillac's going to build, let's say, 50,000 of these things. If all 50,000 get sold in the U.S., none of them are going overseas. So, pretty tricky situation, especially if you live outside of the United States and you want to get your grubby little hands on one of these models. But we'll wait and see what comes of this in the future. Next up on the list, well, the folks over at McLaren are blabbing about that possibly their Nürburgring Nordschleife loop lap time is supposedly faster. Again. When the P1 first supposedly took to the Nordschleife loop, there were some rumors floating about that the vehicle had done it in just around 7 minutes flat. Then that later was changed, and no, it did it in 6 minutes 47 seconds. And now we're hearing it's changed again, as apparently the vehicle's now done it in just about 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, let's say that they did do it. Let's say that they did it 6 minutes and 33 seconds, if you will. Are they going to change that again and claim that they did it in 6 minutes and 10 seconds? Or is this going to just continue on? Now, don't get me wrong. The P1 is probably one of the most fantastic to look at, not to mention one of the most fantastic performance automobiles on the planet. But there's no officialness to anything that happens at the Nürburgring. Not to mention we've never seen any video of this car making a full lap. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what comes of this in the future. But I wish they would pick a number and stick with it, at least in my eyes. But there's no doubt that I feel that the car could probably quite possibly do this time. Maybe they're getting a little bit nervous about what's coming around the corner. Next up on the list, well, the folks over at KTM have been building the Crossbow for a while. And KTM basically building more off-road vehicles, motorbikes and ATVs. Then they went out and they built this great little track day star. Well, apparently some other ATV off-road style vehicle manufacturers want to get in on that action a little bit as well. The folks over at Polaris supposedly let out these little shots over the past several days, going in to get patents done on them. This supposedly is the brand new Polaris Slingshot. Now, as you can see, it's basically, even though this vehicle only has one seat, it has a side-by-side configuration where you could have two people in the vehicle. But as you can also see, it only has 3 wheels. Now, this particular vehicle is not going to have a Polaris drivetrain, or at least the rumors suggest that it won't. That it may have an Ecotec 2.4-liter straight 4-cylinder engine made by General Motors, and this vehicle could be putting out close to 200 brake horsepower. Now, it looks capable. Actually looks pretty doggone fun to drive. Would love to see this thing actually built, but again, this is just kind of a patent situation, so nothing's actually in concrete yet. We'll wait and see what comes of it from the old Polaris folks in the future. Next up on the list, a brand new all-aluminum Ford F-150 has somewhat of some struggles to go through as it gets going, as it comes out in 2015. You know, a lot of people still maybe think of aluminum like aluminum cans. Not to mention, a lot of people are maybe a little bit more frustrated with the way this thing may deteriorate in some way, shape, or form. Oxidation and whatnot, rather than the rusted there it was. And then not to mention, Ford just may have a little bit of an issue with this thing actually having an issue with it being repairable, which is where this next little story comes in. If you were to wreck your brand new all-aluminum F-150, where do you go to get it fixed? A lot of body shops around the country are not really prepared to repair an all-aluminum vehicle. which makes this all the more wary when it comes to insurance fees. Apparently, insurance companies have already rated this vehicle as at least a 10% premium over a standard all-steel F-150. So, that being said, the folks over at Ford have actually countered this and said, no, wait a minute. This particular vehicle is going to get greater fuel economy and greater towing capacity, which will far outweigh that 10% in insurance fees. So we'll wait and see what comes of this little deal in the future, but I still think the all-aluminum deal is not a bad situation to get into. And last up on the list with the brand new F-150 all-aluminum, sadly this is going to push out a vehicle that is very close to my heart. A vehicle that a lot of times when I talk about, you know, I'm really sad that this car is going. This is one that I am really, really sad. In fact, so sad, I can't. I said I wouldn't cry. Okay, I'm not really crying. But this was a fantastic piece of kit. When this thing first came out, it was amazing. All new suspension. It comes with a wider, you know, body structures and whatnot. All different frame and everything. And apparently all that type of stuff, even though this thing has been selling like hotcakes, apparently that's not enough to save it. The SVT Raptor will be no more. Come year of 2015, the all-new aluminum F-150 will totally replace the Raptor. Maybe the fact that all the panels on this, most of them are being plastic, maybe that just wouldn't really gel with the all-aluminum structure. That being said, it's still a fantastic automobile, and the rates, at least for the resale value, is immense, which I guess means that this thing will continue to be that way if they stop selling it. Again, super sad that this vehicle will be going away coming up in the year of 2015. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this week's Motor Cars Enthusiast. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.